In this video, I'm going to review the drafting instruments and demonstrate setting up a page on the drawing board. So, this is a blank drawing page using masking tape and small pieces, tape a corner. And then using a T-square, which was discussed in the first set of videos on lettering, use a T-square against the appropriate side of the desk. In my case, I'm on the left side because I'm right-handed. Line up the title block. And make sure that it is lined up with the T-square. So T-square may be 90 degrees between its head and the blade, or it might not be. Really, you don't know exactly unless you put a protractor on it. But by doing this, if the page is lined up relative to that T-square, and if the T-square head is firmly attached to the blade, it will always make lines that are horizontal and parallel to that page. I think I got it right. Let's see. Yeah, it looks good. Looks good. All right, and so that is how you tape down a page. It's in the center of the drawing area, so it's convenient to work. If you put it too close to the bottom or the side, it may be hard to use the instruments. So that's T-square. And like I said, you can use this to make any number of lines that are horizontal and parallel to each other. So those lines are horizontal and they're parallel. So those lines in AutoCAD, they discuss this and they would call this 0 degrees. Now what happens if you want to do a line at 90 degrees or at 45 degrees? Well, then set squares come into play. So there are two types of set squares. This one is a 45-degree set square. The angles inside, 45, 45, and 90. As you know, in triangles, they add up to 180 degrees total. So that's a 45-degree set square. You can do 45-degree lines, vertical lines at 90 degrees. And you can also do 135-degree lines. And they are always used with a T-square. They sit on top of the T-square to make sure that everything's done accurately. The other set square is a 30, 60, 90 set square. And so the angles inside the triangle in this case, 90 degrees, 60 degrees, and 30 degrees, also adds up to 180. So with this set square, we can do vertical lines on top of the T-square, that way as well as this way. We can also do lines that are at 30 degrees, according to that. We can do lines at 60 degrees. You can also do lines this way, and that would be at 180 plus 30, which is 210 degrees. So using these two set squares, you can draw, and the T-square, you can draw horizontal lines at 0 degrees, 180 degrees. That's just with the T-square. You can do 90-degree lines, 270-degree angled lines using the set squares on the T-square. And then you can do 30-degree lines. Oops, terrible, wiggly. 60-degree lines. And then past 90, you do 120, 150, 180, etc. You can go all the way around from 0 to 360 degrees. And then combining the two set squares allows you to get even more lines. And so with this, that actually is now 15 degrees below the horizontal to the left. And so that would actually be 195 degrees. So we can make any lines at any angle with 15-degree increments from 0 around to 360 using combination of the T-square and the set squares. All right, so those are set squares. We talked about the pencils in the lettering. I like H, 2H, and 4H. You can also use mechanical pencils. These have leads that open in, or that can be adjusted using these little chuck or jaw there, or collet. And you need a special sharpener for this to sharpen those. So these are the mechanical pencils for drafting. When I use them, I'd have an H, 2H, and 4H. It's just my preference. And leads come in a pack like this. I'm not going to use those today. We talked about scales. That was a metric scale that I showed in the lettering. You can also get engineering scales that work in feet and inches, architectural scales that work in feet and inches, etc. There's many different scales to use. Another way to do lines at an angle or to measure lines angle, of course, is use a protractor. So finding a line that isn't at one of those 15-degree increments, that would be a tool which can be used. There's also set squares that have built-in angles as well. So that one would also function kind of like a protractor to draw any angled line you like. We discussed the Ames lettering guide. I like to use the holes down the side. They're approximately 3 millimeters apart, 1/8 of an inch. And then a favorite, of course, is the erasing shield. This is a sanding pad. It's nice if you need to just clean up your pencil, make it a little sharper, but it's also very useful for sharpening the lead on a compass. This is a bow compass. There's a point here. It's got a shoulder. So go into the page like this and set with a radius using a scale and a couple marks on the page. So if you wanted, say 20 millimeters, I put a mark and a mark, if that's a radius. And then you would set the compass at that radius. And then you can go draw circles all day long with a radius of, or an arc of 20. And the way that that pencil lead on the compass is sharpened is by using this sanding pad. So it's different. Rather than making a cone shaped point, this one you make a flat point. But that's how it's done for a compass. All right. Next, when making curves, you have a few different points to join. These can be used to find the curve. So given 3 points, 1, 2, 3, you'd find the best fit curve with this French curve, and that would allow you to draw whatever that ended up looking like. Okay, French curves come in different shapes. Those are just 2 examples. Also templates. When doing isometric drawings on paper, these are useful. So a lot of isometrics are going to use a 30-degree angle, and circles in isometric become ellipses. So that just helps you to do those types of drawings. So those are the main drafting instruments. Tape is important. Masking tape is best. Using as little as possible is good because it will sometimes roll over when the instruments go over them like this, and then you get sticky glue on the back of the instruments which pick up all the lead and make the drawing very messy. You want to avoid that, so try to keep the drawing clean. Small pieces of tape is good. And the only thing I'm missing here is my eraser. Don't know where it got to, but it's here somewhere, and I showed you in the lettering. So that's how I set up a drawing on the board. I'm going to change this and do another video and show how I would do a single view drawing.